So this is her directorial debut. Sorry, my cats just ran past everyone. They were so shocked by the directorial debut.
Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Marriott, this is Sean Vickers. We are Boys on Film. If you like music and movies, this is the channel for you, so get subscribing. Not going to be desperate on this video. I was desperate on the last one, but yes, please do subscribe. It means everything to us. We can't survive without your subscriptions. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there. Yeah.
So go on, Phil, wave your lanyard. Go on, wave your lanyard. Go on.
It would be rude not to, wouldn't it?
Not waved your lanyard. There we go.
Now, I've loved the festival this year, but the only downside was not seeing you. The only time I've seen you is on a screen, on Zoom.
We saw each other for the Ava and Ali premiere.
Yeah.
And we both were just saying before filming, we've seen a load of stuff, but somehow we have not overlapped.
It's because we've got different tastes.
Well, you're just going to see a bunch of horror films, aren't you?
Yeah, and there have been loads this year. I've been very happy about that.
That's why you're never seeing me, Phil. I think we found the answer.
So today's movie is not a horror film, I'm guessing?
It's not a horror film. It's a documentary.
But it is The Wolf Suit. I mean, the picture that they've used on the thumbnail in the brochure looks pretty horrific. I mean, it looks like a horror film.
Yeah. Is that a bit misleading?
It could be, couldn't it?
It's really got my brain going. It's directed by Sam Firth, and Sam Firth has done a bunch of shorts. So this is her directorial debut. Sorry, my cats just ran past everyone. They were so shocked by the directorial debut. It plays with the idea of trauma and family dynamics, and basically what we tell ourselves as kids and how that becomes kind of fact. And so Sam Firth was exploring a time in her childhood when she was happier before her parents broke up. After her parents broke up, she listened to both sides of her mother and father about how they perceived their relationship and how some things were aligned and some things seemed completely different. And she got all of these things captured on tape and VCR. And so she decides to basically recreate moments of her past in a studio. So she hires actors to play her parents.
Wow.
And she plays through to work out what is a false memory and what is actually real as a way of defining what happened in the past. And she brought her parents in to watch and to test some of the ideas.
Oh my God.
It reminds me of that Charlie Kaufman film, Synopticate, I think it's called, New York, where they recreate themselves on a soundstage and then recreate themselves doing something on a soundstage. So there's quite bonkers things of like her parents watching actors play themselves and then Sam first challenging them to say, is that what happened? And they'd be like, that's not what happened. No, actually, this happened. Her mother and father are estranged and they haven't spoken for a long time. So also this connection of the two of them coming back together to discuss this quite traumatic time in childhood and how it's affected Sam Firth going forward in basically having relationships and whatnot. There's some really touching moments where at one point Sam's father apologizes to her mother and says, oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh no.
And it's through this device that she's created, this soundstage, to replay back what is fact and what is not fact. And what is a false memory. That was just brilliant. I think it was great.
I mean, you use the word bonkers, and I'm thinking to myself, if I kind of analyse my life, my previous life up till now, especially my childhood, and tried to recreate it, I would find that so cringe. Was any of it awkward, or?
No, not at all. It was just the subject matter, which is how I may have a memory of something and you may have a memory of something, and how those memories warp over time. And how things conflate. So there's elements in the documentary where they've conflated 2 points in time and it becomes one story. And through the art of the portrayal and then almost using her mother and father and her own memories, they like cross-reference it and be like, no, that didn't happen. That's actually a false memory. I
love the sound of that. And also because everybody relates to things differently and also interprets things differently in their lives. So did they have differences of opinion looking back at how it was recreated, or?
Very much so. So there are definitely gaps, and there were situations of like that didn't happen, or it did not happen in that order, or the thing that you're describing is actually months or years apart.
Was trauma playing a part of that? Was because I've read something about it being, portrayal of sensitivity as well, especially growing up when you're younger, you are more sensitive to certain things.
Yeah, so very much around the family dynamic, very much around trauma, very much around the behaviour of her father, and particularly against her mother. Her mother's own mental health and how it was probably either misdiagnosed or not diagnosed back in the 80s. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and I think she does a fantastic job because she kind of tackles it head on, which is something which is obviously incredibly sensitive. For me, it feels like a process, like a therapy process, where she's trying to work through something to get to a better outcome, or to get to an outcome, to be able to move forward. And that's what I thought was great about it. So as a documentary piece, I absolutely recommend it.
Yeah, it sounds fascinating. So star rating from Sean Vickers for The Wolf Suit.
I'm going to give that a 4.
Ooh, a banging 4? Clattering?
Not banging, not in this sense. A sensitive, thoughtful 4.
Amazing. There we go. So The Wolf Suit, look out for that. British documentary from SAM FIRTH. Thank you everybody for watching. Good to see you, Sean. We'll see you on the next one. And possibly all 3 of us will get together with Raj too.